Hello and welcome to this new section on cost management in this course, Master in Construction Management. In this particular section, covering three lectures, we will talk to you about how can you manage your costs within the budgets. And the first thing that we will talk to you about is how can you deliver project within the budget through effective financial planning. So, how do you think you can deliver, projects? How can you manage cost well? So, there are three things you need to do. One is you need to do effective financial planning that can help you deliver these projects within budgets. Then there will be unexpected costs. So, you need to manage these unexpected costs with robust contingency funds. And third, you need to innovate on cost savings and procurement strategy and leverage them. So these are the three things that you need to do to manage cost efficiently and effectively. So let's take a look at how can you do effective financial planning and deliver project within budget. Any thoughts? So, doing that requires meticulous financial planning. That is the key thing with delivering projects within budget. Then you need to constantly monitor and proactively take decisions so that you are within budget and you are delivering your project milestones. What you need to do first is to establish, obviously, a detailed project budget. Now, what are the things that you need to do in this project budget? It starts with defining the scope, clearly outlining project deliverables to avoid scope creep. Then you break down costs, use the WBS, and we had shown you earlier to estimate costs for labor, materials, equipments, overheads, and contingencies. You can also categorize costs, separate fixed costs like equipment purchase from variable costs like labor hours, and then use data from similar past projects to refine estimates. So like this, you can define a project budget. Then you conduct a feasibility studies as we had explained earlier, where you assess cost feasibility by comparing estimated costs with available funding. Identify financial risk by evaluating potential cost overruns due to market conditions, delays, or unexpected challenges, and also do a sensitivity analysis by testing how changes in key cost drivers like material prices can impact the budget. So you do a feasibility study like this. Then you develop a comprehensive financial plan which contains a baseline budget by and there you set the initial approved budget as the benchmark. Then you assign funds to specific tasks, phases, and departments and allocate resources like that. In this, it's important to allocate 5 to 15% of the total budget for unforeseen costs and set up this contingency fund and ensure funds are available when needed to avoid delays. So plan your cash flow accordingly. So like this, develop a comprehensive financial plan. Then to do that, you need to use accurate estimation techniques because your budget will be as good as your accuracy of the cost estimates. And that you can do by using, a parametric estimation where you can use mathematical models based on historical data, like cost per square feet kind of a work. Then also there's another alternative, do bottoms up estimation where you can estimate costs at the task level and aggregate them for the total budget. Also, you can do 3-point estimation where you calculate optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely cost to create a weighted average. And then you compare estimates with industry standards or similar projects to see how accurate is your cost estimate. Once you have these things done, you need to implement real-time cost monitoring where you track expenses by using project management software like Procore Smartsheet to track costs in real time. Do the variance analysis, regularly compare actual cost versus the baseline to figure out how much do they vary and why. And also monitor cost performance using matrices like cost performance index and schedule performance index in the earned value management. One very important thing to do is to optimize your resource utilization, not allocation, but utilization. And there are three components of that. One is in the labor, where you need to schedule shifts to avoid overtime. That's a killer. And manage workload efficiently. Second thing is material procurement. Buy materials in bulk and during off-peak periods to secure discounts. And third is to maximize the use of rented equipment by aligning with it with the project phases, the timing. Proactively manage changes as the changes happen and establish a change control process by implementing a formal system to evaluate the cost impact of changes before approval. Avoid unnecessary scope expansions by adhering to initial agreements and notify stakeholders of potential cost impacts due to changes. So manage the changes proactively using these three strategies. Leverage technology for financial planning. Use tools like QuickBooks, Sage, and Oracle Primavera for financial tracking. They simulate project costs and schedules in building information modeling and employ AI-based tools to forecast potential cost overruns using predictive analytics. Conduct regular financial reviews. There you could do weekly or monthly audits where you review expense reports to identify discrepancies or trends, allocate costs by reassigning and use funds from under budgeted areas to those over budgeted, and update stakeholders by sharing financial progress with them to maintain transparency. Train and empower the team. Where can you and how can you empower and train the team is to first train the project managers. So build in the required financial literacy. So train the project managers and teams on budget management practices. Second, you assign budget responsibilities to team leads for better control and offer rewards to team that complete tasks under budget without compromising the quality. So train and empower the teams like this. Adapt lean construction practices. And what are these lean construction practices that you can adapt? You can minimize waste by using just-in-time material delivery to reduce storage costs. You can do value engineering by identifying cost-effective alternatives for materials and methods. And you can do standardization by reusing designs or processes where applicable to save costs. So lean construction practices is one very good way to manage costs within budgets and save something. Learn from post-project analysis. Now, there are a few things you can do here. One is to compare the actual versus planned cost to identify variances, then investigate reasons for cost overruns or savings and identify the root causes, and then learn the lessons. Document insights to improve financial planning in future projects. Here is an example of a budget management workflow. Now, what are the actions here and what are the steps that you need to do? In the planning step, you need to break down project costs into tasks, and we saw that earlier, work breakdown structure. And that will give you a detailed and realistic budget. In the monitoring phase, you need to track expenses every week, and that can help you identify the positive and negative variances that is happening, the deviations that is happening from the budget. And in the optimization phase, you can adjust the resources based on the needs as you go forward, and that can help you efficiently use the funds and resources. Conduct monthly reviews in the review phase and review step, and that will provide you the transparency and budget compliance. What are the key matrices of financial planning? As you see here, the key matrices, there are four that we're talking about. Cost performance index, which measures cost efficiency, and the formula is CPI is equal to earned value divided by actual cost. Earned value we talked about, that is the amount of the cost of project work that is completed. Budget at completion BAC is it's basically to make sure that your planned budget is and it is sum of all estimated costs and actual cost incurred. And then estimated completion EAC, the forecast final cost based on performance. EAC is equal to actual cost by BAC minus EV. And variance at completion VAC is difference between the BAC and EAC, which is the total budget at completion versus the estimated completion. So these are key matrices for financial planning. Let us look at a case study example of cost management in which the project is about infrastructure development project and the challenge is as anticipated cost overruns due to unexpected material price hikes, right? So what were the solutions the team could do? So they pre-negotiated fixed price contract with suppliers. So they were smart enough. They replaced expensive materials with cost-effective alternatives using the value engineering and implemented real-time expense tracking to control non-essential spend. And what were the results? The outcome was reduced cost overruns by 12% and completed within the revised budgets. So, by implementing the strategies that we have talked in this lecture, you can control cost effectively, ensure projects are completed within budget while maintaining quality and timelines. So, what do we do next? We will look at another aspect of cost management, of managing unexpected costs with robust contingency planning in the next lecture. So, thank you so much for watching this first lecture on cost management in this course, Master in Construction Management. I hope you're continuing to learn new things, continuing to enjoy, and I do look forward to see you again in the next lecture. Please feel free to message me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer your questions and do download the PDF file to take a look at anything that you need.